Hello, everybody. I'm hoping we are out there. I seem to have a couple of technical difficulties, so I'm just going to wait a second to see if everything catches up with me to see what's going on. So, hello. If this is your first time, welcome to the Altenew YouTube channel where we are live. And I am Amy, and this is Amy's Inspiration Station. Thank you, Debbie, for being here with me. I know this is an odd time, and I believe we are just on YouTube tonight because we have a couple of technical difficulties. So I'm so sorry to our Facebook friends. But we are on YouTube. And if you share this live while we're live, you can actually be entered to win a $15 gift card. And I got to say, Debbie, I think it's just you right now. Oh, here's Tracy. Great. So we have two people in the running for that $15 gift card. So, hey, it may actually be yours tonight. So it's so nice to see you. We're trying out a new time. Let me know what you think. Is it a little too late? It's 5 o'clock for me, so I'm home from work, just gonna get dinner on and feed the kids and everything, and just kind of checking in for a little bit of crafty time. So I'm so glad that you are able to be with me today, or tonight, I should say, in my case. And I hope that you're doing great. I wanted to say tonight we are actually celebrating, or maybe not. Maybe we're just saying goodbye to Mars in retrograde. And if you don't know, Mars, which the planet Mars, has a trajectory where we actually spin a little bit, or the Earth spins a little bit faster than Mars. And every 2 years, so if you look at you see Mars, usually you'll see it, and it kind of moves from west to east. And every 2 years, for a period of time, it looks like, from our perspective, it's moving from east to west. So it looks like it's going backwards. It's not, but it's just because of the way those are. So we're kind of celebrating space cards. And so this is, if you want to check it out, you can go check out the NASA website, and you would be able to have a lot of great information on the NASA website about Mars in retrograde. And if you felt that it's been a little crazy since, I don't know, the end of October, that's because Mars has been in retrograde since the end of October. So sometimes people feel like this is a time when things are going backwards because Mars looks like it's going backwards. Yes, Debbie. Yes, celestial energy. So we're saying goodbye to the craziness and hello, 2023. Yes, Tracy, I'm sneaking in science today, sneaking in some we're sneaking in some planetary science. That's what we're doing. And we have Angel behind the badge. Thank you, Sue, for reminding me. And Angel is here monitoring the chat, and she is also going to be picking the winner for our $15 gift card. So if you share this live while we're live and let us know that you shared it and where you shared it to, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card. And unfortunately, we are only on YouTube tonight. So let your friends know that we are on YouTube. All right. It's so nice to see you. I have 2 awesome projects. I'm going to go ahead and go down, and we're going to check those out. And hey, Deb and Tracy and Sue, and I'm so glad that you guys are here with me. And at Hobbyist, hello. So, and Melly PP, I'm so glad you guys are here. I know this is like a different time. We're trying new times, Sue. So let me know what you think. Oh boy. Yes, exactly, Hobbyist. That is Mars in retrograde. All right, so we are saying goodbye, good riddance, Mars in retrograde. All right, so I have 2 projects today, and we are taking we're kind of using 2 stamp sets that are space. Actually, I have 3 stamp sets really that are spacey. So I have Mini Moon here. And if you need me to get a close-up on anything, let me know. I'm able to zoom in my camera. And the other one that I'm using is Big World. Look how cool this is. Hey, Saskia. Yes, Debbie, that's what we're doing. This is like, I know you can't tell, but there's like layers upon layers upon layers things. So what we're doing here is, that's why I'm calling it Mix It Up, because let's face it, Mars looks like it's going backwards during retrograde. And I'm going to have some cards that mix up a couple of different things. So these are the 2 main stamp sets that we're using. And you can see on my cards, I have like a watercolor splish splosh background. And then can you guys see that little bit of shine going on? And there's some shine here too. We got some stenciling. I got some stenciling going on too. And so that's what we're going to be playing with. Alicia, this is like, I hope it's fun. I hope you get a chance to try this. And I hope you celebrate the ending of Mars in retrograde. It only happens every 2 years. So just be mindful of that. All right, so I'm going to dive in. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Oh, and this one spins. Because what you need is a spinny card when you have the Earth spinning and it's the end of Mars in retrograde. Of course, we need to talk about that orbiting of the planet. All right. So I'm going to get started. I'm actually going to start with all of my embossing. So we're going to get on and get a lot of embossing. Now, because I'm going to add quite a bit of water to this, I actually want to use the watercolor paper. And I love this because it already comes, and you can tell, time for a reorder. So I'm going to use this because this is great paper. It can actually hold a lot of water, and it's really nice to use. Oh my gosh, and it's my last 2 sheets. Talk about Mars in retrograde. Someone might have, oh no, hobbyist, you are really strawberry. All right, we will change that. And all right, okay, so I'm going to grab my 2 sheets and I'm going to use the side of the sheet that's a little bit smoother because I'm going to be stamping on these. And what I'm going to do for this card is I'm going to stamp the base of the Earth or this, that the stand that the globe is on, and I'm also going to do the sentiment. And I thought this would make a really cute graduation card for somebody who is, you know, going on and kind of has a new phase in their life. And I just thought this was kind of cute. I don't think this is just kind of a neat hello card. But this lion is from, this is an oldie but a goodie. It's the Geometric Menagerie set. So cute. And I thought this would be really, really cute with this as well. So, all right. So I'm going to grab some stamps. I'm going to grab my sentiment and this lion from the Geometric Menagerie. And then I'm going to actually just grab this stand and a sentiment from here. All right. And then I'm going to get going on this because I believe I did this yesterday. And if I work, I cut a lot of pieces early. So if I work fast, I can get all of this done. And thank you so much, Angel, for being behind the badge. You are amazing. And if you want to be in the running, Angel will be picking a winner for our $15 gift card today. So please share that we are live. And this is a new time. Can you guys tell me what you think? Now I'm working in math and geometrics. Well, you got to tie it together, Tracy. You got to tie everything together. All right, I'm going to do the Be the Change You Wish to See in the World again because I think that's really cute. All right. All right. And again, you want to be, I know this is a new time, so we might not have a ton of people. So you might actually have we're doing percentages now, Tracy, even more math. We're going to do some percentages. What's the percentage that you could potentially win the gift card tonight? So we got planetary science, we got geometry, and we have probability. That's what's going on tonight. All right, so I'm going to put this in, and I'm actually going to, this is a little trick I like to do, even though I'm going to do these in different colors. So I'm going to use the platinum embossing powder, and I'm also going to use the pure white embossing powder. And I'm going to do platinum for the stand, and I'm going to do pure white for the sentiment. And then I'm going to do rose gold on the other card. But I just want to come in, and I'm just double checking that my sentiment is lined up. Okay, that looks pretty good. There we go. And good. All right, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so I picked those both up. I'm going to grab my little embossing bag, make sure I don't have any strays anywhere. Make sure those are all gone. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the next one. And I didn't need to prep these because I've been prepping them. They are prepped. And the embossing powders, the embossing ink is really good because it kind of sticks to a lot of different things. All right. Hey, Cindy from Illinois and Wisconsin. I think a different time. Yeah, that's hard. I agree, Tracy. We're kind of trying things out. Let us know. This is a new time for me. Usually I'm on at 3:30. This is 5. We're just kind of trying things out. Let me know. I want to know how many, if anybody crafts along with me, or you just watch? Okay, there we go. Okay, that one should be good. So although I'm not gonna like heat emboss this right away, what I do is I just go ahead and pour on that embossing ink, powder, so I know I can get it. So I know it will be fine. I don't think that came out right. Oh, it did. Okay, good. All right, so I know I want to do the platinum on the bottom, so I'm going to do this first, and you can see how I'm directing everything away from that top. So I'm not putting everything where I want it to go yet. All right, so platinum comes off. And now I'm going to go with the white. So I'm just going to pull these off and put these on, and now I'm going to go with the white. Oh, you do both today, organizing. Oh, that's good. And you just watch, Sue? Yeah, I think I do. I always catch it and I'm like driving or I'm like doing something else. And it's kind of nice just to feel like you got a buddy in the room that you're kind of talking with. And I know you guys can't see this because I know it's white on white, but just as a reminder that when I add the ink on, you're going to be able to really see that pop, that white pop out. All right, so this is one card. And I like to get all my embossing done before I do the watercoloring, because the water tends to make that paper warp, and the embossing, when I heat it kind of makes the warp. So it's like a double warp. Also warp. So that's why I'm trying to do this in a way that I'm going to decrease as much warp as possible. All right, so here's my little lion. And I'm going to put this sentiment in. And these guys I'm going to do in rose gold and platinum. Oh, that must have been fun, Sue, to have your grandson around, keeping you young, chasing after him. Yes, and Saskia's still up, which is great. And Kathy's here. Awesome. This is so good. Kathy, we're talking Mars in retrograde. We are celebrating the end of Mars in retrograde. Only happens every 2 years. And if you're interested in learning about the planetary cycles, specifically Mars and Earth, and what the heck I'm talking about, go check out the NASA website. There's some great information on there about it. So, oh, I've done that. Tracy, that's super fun. I think I've done that with my kids. The shaving cream, and they go all over the place with the shaving cream. So, feeling energized. Oh no, Saskia. That's good. That's good. All right. I like the fact that sometimes you guys craft with me. I happen to watch when I'm able to catch the lives. I tend to watch and see what the heck is going on. All right. So I'm going to grab these off. So we're going to do the same little trick. So I do this as, I don't know, I'm just trying to save time, I guess, where I don't want to stamp, emboss, then stamp and emboss. So I just stamp everything and then I deal with the embossing powder color. If I want to switch out embossing colors, I just do it this way. So you can see I'm being really careful to, oh look, he has no head. I'm being really careful to make sure that this just goes where I want it to go. So here's my little lion. All right. And then I'm going to do the sentiment, but I'm going to do the sentiment in platinum. And I wanted to pick some metallic colors, some different types of metallic colors tonight, just again to keep going with that night theme. Oh, Joni, how are you doing? We are talking Mars in retrograde tonight, Joni. It is the end of Mars in retrograde. So every 2 years, Mars looks like it's going backwards when we look up at it. So I'm celebrating with some celestial cards, trying to keep up and mixing it up, because that's what happens when you got Mars going backwards. All right, so there's my 2 cards. So I'm going to heat those up. Then what I'm going to do is use some stenciling. And this was really my first time using the translucent pearl embossing powder. And I got to say, I like this. I want to know your guys' thoughts on translucent pearl embossing powder. Hey, James. You taught the phase of the moon yesterday? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Did you mention about, well, I guess The Mars in retrograde might be a little rough for third graders. Yes. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys to be here. And we have Angel behind the badge tonight, so please give Angel a shout out. And she is picking the winner, so be super nice to her for a $15 gift card to Altenew. And you could kind of use that to catch one of these supplies or to increase your stash or get something that kind of fits your fancy. All right, again, my sentiment up here is white, so I know we can't see that, but you will be able to see it in a moment. And let me know about the new time. I'm trying out this new time tonight. It's at 5 o'clock. Let me know what you think. If you like it to be earlier, later, what you think is going on. And we're using Big World and Mini Moon. And I'm also using Geometric Menagerie. Okay, that looks great. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab some stencils. And so what I did, and it's hard to see with this, but there, I don't know if you can see that little, oh, there it goes, shine. So that shine is coming from the, ooh, Kathy, nice. You can see that shine. That's actually coming from the translucent pearl. And that shine is gorgeous. And then it's a little bit here. This, I'm going to change up the design. I'm not super happy with these stars. I thought there was a little much. But we're going to use, or I'm going to use, Tiny Bubbles. And I always forget this leaf one. Leaf Bed. That's right. Tiny Bubbles and Leaf Bed stencils. And I might pull out Milky Way. I haven't decided yet. That's going to be a game time decision. So we got Leaf Bed stencil. Love this. Oh, good, Cindy. I'm so glad. Yeah, I was looking around. The moon. Well, I think we can do the moon. I was wondering about some different ways to do moons if you didn't have moons, but I like this little mini moon. It's cute. And here's our Tiny Bubbles. Love it. Love this. All right, so I'm going to take my my embossing bag. I'm going to redo this. And what I'm looking for is I have my embossing ink. I'm pulling that back in again. And then I just have a little blending brush. And I'm going to start here. And I'm not going to go all over the paper with this. So that's not Tiny Bubbles. I'm going to use Leaf Bed first. And what I'm looking for or going for is I'm going to end up with the earth here. So I want to look like the leaves are like right outside the earth, almost like holding onto it and giving it a big, huge hug. And so I'm going to hold on to this really, really tight, grab my embossing ink, and I am going to go to town. Now this stencil, and I don't really care about this middle part because this is going to end up for this card being a throwaway, but I'm going to use that on another project. I just haven't decided yet what I'm going to do because it comes out looking gorgeous. And so I'm just going around and I'm just getting as much of this as possible. And you can see this is such a delicate stencil. So I am not brushing with it. And instead I'm twisting this on and I'm going right off of those plastic parts where the stencil is cut into to really try to get and load on this embossing ink. Oh, Vicki, thank you for sharing. You are now entered to win our $15 gift card. And I am sorry, we had some technical difficulties. So unfortunately we're not on Facebook. So that means that you have a higher probability tonight of winning. Yay! So make sure that you share this. Let us know, let Angel know where you're sharing it and that you've shared that we are live tonight. And Angel will be pulling that winner and she will let that person know at the end of our broadcast tonight. And we are talking Mars in retrograde. Okay. All right. So there is our piece. So I'm going to go ahead and get my translucent powder and I'm going to throw this on. And again, you're going to look at this and you're going to be highly underwhelmed. You're going to go, oh, wow, that's amazing. Good job on that one, Amy. What did she do? But you can see, you might be able to see it a little bit, that is what we are looking for. All right. So we're going to go ahead and heat that in just a minute. I'm going to do my other one next. All right, so my translucent pearl, putting it over here. Leaf bed goes to bed. And then I'm going to grab my other background. And now I'm looking for tiny bubbles. Now I'm going to do the same thing. It's not going to go all the way over. I'm just kind of thinking about a big, huge oval. And that's where my watercolor blobs are going to end up. And I'm actually going to try to avoid my sentiment and my lion. I thought it was a good idea to like put this on top of the lion, but it didn't end up being as good an idea as I thought. So put a thumbs up as well. Yes, please do. Please do. All right. And I'd love to know, how many of you emboss through your stencils like this? Sometimes I always think about ink blending. I always forget that I can do this part too. And this is a great use for your translucent embossing powder, because this just gives it that really cool shine. All right. So this is my last step of embossing. And then I'm going to emboss these, and then we are going to go to town and stamp out some stuff. All right. Again, I know you can't super see it, but it is there. We got some tiny bubbles, and this is just going to give it that little bit of shine. I'm going to make a game time decision about whether or not I'm going to use that Milky Way stencil. You know, because you got to add the little stars in. And if you don't know that Milky Way stencil and you're trying to make like a background, a starry background, it's really cute because it's also a layering stencil, because these tiny guys will fit inside of there. So you could like brush it on with gold and then do a heat emboss gold. That looks pretty cool too. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly heat emboss these. Really, Sue? Don't think that, and you know what? That's what you're gonna do. That's your next thing. You should try to heat emboss, to do embossing for your stencils. It really stretches the stencil, and it's really neat because you get these really great designs. And you don't have to. It doesn't have to be everywhere, because you can mask off what you don't want, or just do what I did and just make sure that where you're putting that ink is where you want it to end up. All right, this stuff, by the way, melts super fast. Again, I know you can't see it, so it's not super exciting, but we are going to go for it now. Yeah, that is right. Oh, that's a great. In your journal. Oh, gorgeous. I bet you that's gorgeous, Cindy. And the stars are nice because it gives it a little, like it's very subtle, and you don't have to use the whole thing, but I like how it's curved. So it kind of looks like a big, huge shooting star. I think that's really neat. All right, I just wanted to show that. It's really neat. So that's that translucent pearl. So that translucent pearl is really going to show up when we watercolor this. Okay, so I'm going to get watercoloring rocking and rolling now. I am using, so I have the Artist watercolor brushes, and these are the ones that have the different brush sizes. So these are mostly round brushes, and I'm grabbing the biggest round brush that's in here, which is a size 4. I'm not going to use the flat brush on this one because this is going to cover too much space, and I want to have my water go just in little bits of places. So this is just going to give you kind of a key where we're heading to. Now, I'm going to use the Tropical Fiesta set, and I picked this because you can't get time warp. Is your, oh my gosh, I missed that, Tracy. Hold on. Is your heat gun reaching your table new for you? Yes, it is, Tracy. I finally figured out, I changed up my cords and now moved the heat gun. So now it's actually in front of me. So I'm not doing like mystery heat tooling off screen. So, and Deb, yes, watercolor. We're kind of like, again, everything's about layers today. So that's where the mix it up comes from. So I like the Tropical Fiesta set because these colors are bright, but then you also have some of these soft colors too. And of course, because it's watercolor, you can decide how deep you want that to be based on how much water you're going to pull. So I'm going to grab, so this has turquoise. This has purple wine. Ooh, that's open. That's scary. and I grabbed fresh lemon. So just these three colors made that rainbow. And then over on this side, because it's earth, I wanted it to be more like, you know, greens and whatnot. So I'm going to use the Desert Night and the fresh lemon. And I'm doing this now because this is going to dry while we do the stamping. So I have some water, and this is actually left over from yesterday when I was playing around and making these cards. And I am going to just grab this water, and I'm just going to start by putting some water down. So I'm just going to put a very, very liberal amount of water. And I'm trying to keep it right in the middle. So I'm not going out to the edges. I just want to keep it right in the middle. And again, I'm using watercolor paper, and because this can handle it. This can handle it. Now this is Desert Night. This goes on deliciously dark. I mean, it's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. And now you can kind of see that color coming in. Oh, beautiful. And then I'm going to grab my fresh lemon here. And that beating up that you see, that's the plastic. And if you want me to zoom in on anything, if you can't see it super well, let me know. All right, and here's the fresh lemon. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some water, and I'm going to start dragging these two colors next to each other. And again, this can handle it because I have that watercolor paper. Oh, and I think I messed up with my thing. That's all right. I went a little too crazy with my stenciling, and I should not have done that, but that's all right. And because I'm going to mix this up with the blue, we're getting this mix of green in between where the blue and the yellow are meeting. All right, I'm just going to tone this sucker down up here. He's a little bit bright for me. Okay, and now I'm going to pull this yellow in. I just don't want it to be that yellow. I want it a little bit greener. All right, okay. Bring this over. And this is just kind of spotlighting things. All right, so I'm going to keep that. That looks good. And now I'm going to move on. Yeah, it's nice how I love when you get that blend between the colors. I think that that's really cool that you get those tertiary colors or secondary colors, depending on what you're putting in, that come up. All right, oops. All right, I'm going to put this over to the side. He's moving. He's a little too much water, so he's moving on me. Okay, now I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start just by grabbing some clear water. And this water, like I wish it was cleaner because I'm going to add some blue by accident, but that's all right. It will work itself through. So same thing. I'm just going to start by adding some water in. And I'm just going around in the location where I want paint to be. And then I'm actually going to start by adding, this is purple wine. Look how gorgeous this is. Are we ready? Oh my gosh. Purple wine. So pretty. So I'm throwing this down. And then I want this fresh lemon. So we're going to use that fresh lemon again. So nice and bright. And I'm going to put this here up at the top. Gorgeous. And then I'm going to add the turquoise in the middle. And now I'm going to use the water to match all of this. And now you can see those little spots coming up as well. Are you a Leo, Deb? Oh, this is perfect for you. This menagerie is nice because it has a lion, it's got a bear, and it has a giraffe. And I know there's no astrological signs with a giraffe, but it has a giraffe. It's so cute with all of them. And they're great for, like, you know, constellations on cards and things like that. So that's kind of how I see using it. All right, so now you saw I'm trying to, like, kind of get this purple wine to be a little bit lighter. So now I'm going to go into that turquoise and I'm going to start dragging it up and dragging it down. So here I am, and you can see when it's mixing with the purple wine, we're getting a different color blue. And now I'm going to drag it up to the yellow. And this will lighten it up a little bit. And now I'm going to drag that yellow down. And that's where we can get that green color coming in. And of course, we can always add more color. So I'm just going to add a little bit more yellow. There should be. I know. I don't know what it would be called because I don't know what giraffe is. But I mean, I think there should be a giraffe sign. I don't know what we would call it. Giraffus ursus. I'm not sure. That's a bear. All right. And then, so yeah, nice and pretty. Kind of putting this all. And I love that rainbow and that graduation of color. So nice. All right. So I'm going to leave these guys be. They are wet, wet, wet. I'm just going to take a little bit of color down from here. I'm just going to draw. I'm just using my rag. It's dry just to kind of pull up some of this darker color. So you always can do that. Oh, and there's too much going on down here. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm just going to leave those guys to dry over on the side. And I knew I messed up that sentiment, but that's all right. We'll fix it later. Okay, so I'm going to pull off. So this is watercoloring is done and embossing is done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of stamping, and then we're going to do some assembly. All right, so I'm going to grab the Big World stamp set. And this one, it's a layered stamp set, but it actually shows the Earth in like two parts. So here's North and South America. And then over here, we have Europe, a little bit of Asia, and Africa and Asia Minor. So that's the two sides of our planet. So if you looked at this, you can see here's Africa and Europe. And then when this spins, there is North and South America. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do those. So there's 3 stamps for each side of the world. You have the water, and then you have 2 lands. And what I did here is I labeled them. So I called it A and B. And then this is ocean for A, land 1 for A, and land 2 for B. And then this is ocean for B, land 1 and land 2 for those. And the colors I'm going to be using for these, for the ocean, of course, you have to use deep blue sea, of course, right? And then I'm going to use, this is green meadows for land. So I'm going to do that one right there. All right, so let me grab my stamp positioner. And what I've done is I've actually already die cut these out. If you get the Stampin' Die bundle, it comes with the circle die. So let me show that to you. So this is the circle die, and it also comes with the die to cut out the stand, but that's the circle die. So I've already used that, and I've already die cut my circles. And I'm going to grab these up here, and I've actually already die cut, and it comes out with the die for world. So you can cut out world, which is actually really nice. All right, so I'm going to do, and I would recommend when you do this, when you stamp on this, to cut first. So die cut that first and then stamp on it. Don't do it the other way around, because these are a little bit difficult to line up. And then I cut out these blue ones because they are going to be extras for me. Just so I can give that world just a little bit more oomph. I'm gonna put those in. All right. I have to say, I think the better method is to do the ocean first and then line up the land. But I also did it with the land first and then lined up the ocean. And both were kind of, this one is just kind of like, good luck. You're going to do it. It takes practice to line these up. And then if you don't get it like perfect, you can use a marker to fill in any sort of gaps that you have. I used the sides of my ink cubes. I used those if I had gaps and I didn't get it perfect. And I also may not have been wearing my glasses at that time. So, hi, Helen. You are up late, Helen. Oh, that's great, Cindy. I love that you do that with your grandson. I think it's so important to have that etiquette. I just had my kids send thank you cards because they got a lot of gifts because of the holidays. You guys also do thank you cards, or you made your kids or grandkids do thank you cards? Or do you like it when, you get those thank you cards? And I'm so glad, Tracy, that you are put your watercolors in the drawer. You're just moving on to other things. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to start off here with Sea Breeze, and then I'm going to add in a little bit of turquoise. In fact, I think I'm going to do Sea Breeze is relatively light. And I'm just keeping this light because of how I did. So I'm just going to add like just a little bit of this turquoise just to give it a little bit of extra thing. And you can see I'm just putting my finger on it just to give it, just a little bit of extra. I know you do. I saw, was that January 22nd? The postage is going up in the US again. So we have to get out there and get our forever stamps. That's the only hard part. I realized the kids had sent out, I think it was 5 thank you cards. And the price of this, I'm like, geez. I know we have these conventions, but I do think it's important. I told the kids if they send thank you cards, there's a more likelihood they're going to get another gift. So it gives them a little bit of incentive there for that. So, ooh, that's so nice, Deb. For calligraphy, I'm working on that. That is still a work in progress for me. So I know, how cute, how cute. But you see how I'm like off on this circle? I'm just going to go in and use the ink pad in order to fix the rest of that. So that's not a problem. All right, so that was one. Now I'm going to come in with land. And I'm going to do land on this side. Oh yeah, that's so nice. That's what my mom says, Cindy. It's like she loves the thank you cards that I send them. I send my dad, the kids send my dad thank you cards. He doesn't usually let me know. But my mother's like, I read them and I save them. And they are getting better. This time they sat down without me bugging them too much. They were just kind of like, oh, we know. We got to do thank you cards. And I'm like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right. So for this one, I'm going to grab Sweet Leaf. And I'm going to do Hunter Green for the next one. So, and this again, so if you're just joining us, you still have some time to get in on the sharing party. Angel is behind the badge today. And if you share this live, while we're live, you'll be entered to win a fit. Oh boy, that was off. What? Oh, that's why, because my paper moved. You guys didn't catch that. Whoa, good thing I did not smush that down. Whoa, that was bad. How is your thank you gift coming along, Amy? It's coming along. I haven't been getting on it yet. I think the party, oh gosh, it might be this Friday. Thank you, Tracy. I needed that. Work's been getting a little bit. We're getting a little crazy at work, so I have to say. So you can see how I have like, you can't even tell. I have a little bit of an outline there. So I can just take a marker, or I can just let that be, because I'm going to put that world die cut over it, so it's not a super big deal. All right, so now I'm going to grab the last section of land for both of them, and I'm going to do this one in Hunter Green. Yeah, let your kids make a few. Yeah, that's probably good. They are tonight on Thursday nights. They're at math, so they have a math class. They go to extra math because I am that parent. This one, I'm doing my best to kind of line up. I'm looking at a couple of the, the coastlines and just trying to make sure it works, because there's not as much real estate for you to get to. And I'm also doing this. It's obviously hard when it's live. So I'm trying to take enough time, but not too much time that you're watching me forever. So I apologize in advance if this is off a little bit and not up to standards. And tomorrow's Friday. Yes. Yes. Thank goodness. And we have a holiday coming up on Monday. So I do not have school, which is great. So the United States celebrates Martin Luther King's birthday. All right. And this is cute. Look how cute that is. Oh my gosh. So really love this Big World stamp and die set. So cute. So cute. All right. Now, I'm also, if you're like, but what is that circle over there, Amy? I'm going to stamp a moon. Now, the moon from the mini moon set, which is hiding over here, this is really cute. And it has this little sentiment that says, love you to the world. I love you to the, and then it says, and back. And then moon is over here separately. And if you get the die set is the circle. This is really, really adorable. So I'm just going to put this guy in here, and it's just a solid, and it's just the topography of the moon, so you can see like all the darker parts. So the way I do this is I'm actually going to do the darker part first, and I'm going to use the warm gray stamp set. So I'm going to do my best to get this right on. I messed this up a little bit yesterday, but I think I can recover here. All right, so for this one, I'm actually going to use the darkest in this set, which is Lava Rock. And I was off yesterday when I did this, and I just grabbed the ink pad and I just made it better. Like you see, I'm off. I just fluffed it. So it totally didn't. It's fine. And then the next part is the solid section, and we're going to fix my foofing with this part. And I have all my little stamps over here. All right, let me do Morning Frost. Let's see how that sucker looks. Okay. All right, and then this is going to end our stamping, and then we're going to move in the man on the moon face showing. That would be cute. There's actually a stamp set. I've used it before with the cat in a moon. That one is really cute. That one is really, really cute. Okay, so here's all of our stamping. All right. So I'm going to put this away. All right, I'm going to bring these back to you. Okay, so this is relatively simple to put together. All we have to do is just push this moon on there, and then we are good to go. This one is a little bit more complicated, so we're going to work on this one first. So I had said that when your earth comes out and it doesn't exactly, I kind of missed it a little bit. If you look there, I can just take my ink pad and just add some more ocean. So we're just increasing the oceans. There we go. There we go. Now you get more ocean. This one too was a little off. So we're just going to increase those oceans. Yay, more ocean. All right, so now what I'm going to do is just add in these blue. And the purpose of the blue is just to give this a little bit more heft. That's all I'm doing, is just giving this a little bit more heft. So I'm just taking those blue. I'm just going to glue them on. So now I have my two sides of the world. And I was thinking about this, about putting world on both sides of the planet. And I think you could do that. I just kept it as one just for simplicity's sake, but I think you could do that. I thought I was done. Kathy, Kathy, are we ever done shopping? No. All right, so what I did is I kind of picked which one didn't come out super great, and then I put world on top of that. And this time I'm going to go ahead with North and South America, because that looks like I mushed that one a little bit more, just because this is going to kind of hide some indiscretions that you have in your stamping. And what's nice, what's really cute, is this fits right across it. And I love that about it, that it just fits right across it. So, all right. And we have about 15 minutes left. So if you want to share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card. And we are talking Mars retrograde today. And we are kind of mixing it up with our cards and our card bases. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this little spinny part to this. Now, I'm going to do a very controversial, actually a couple of controversial steps. So I just wanted to point that out, that if you're about to, yell at your screen, it's okay, because I'm going to do this my way, and you may have a different way, and your way works for you. And that is super good. Without the texture, you could make the moon into a space station. Yes. Oh, wow. Is that right, Deb? That's awesome that you've been at the launches. That's amazing. Wow. All right. So what I have here is I have a piece of fun foam, and this fun foam has been cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And I also have a card base. So what I'm going to do, first off, before I do anything, I need to make sure that this sucker is dry, which it is not dry. So I'm just going to hit this with my heat tool real quick. And you can see, we can see that beautiful shine that's there. It's looking really, really super nice. I'm going to cut some of this out of here. And what I did, just so you, I don't know if you heard me before, but when I stenciled on, I went by accident, I stenciled up a little too high. And I got it on my sentiment. So I will not be using this. I have to redo this card, but that's okay. You guys will get the gist of what the heck is going on. Now, if you do this and your paper is kind of warpy, what I would do is kind of wait, like go ahead and stick this under something heavy. You can use the heat in order to get it out. Stick it under something heavy, and that will help to kind of flatten it out a little bit. But as we're live, we're just going to kind of deal with what we got here. All right, so I have to first run this through my die cutting machine, and I'm going to stick this. So this is not the die that comes with it. This is just a generic circle die that is slightly a little bit bigger than the Big World die. So any sort of circle die that you have, we have our halftone circles, and I'm going to go ahead and run this through the die cutting machine. So we're going to do a little bit of die cutting. So I'm going to move my examples out of the way and put my die cutting machine right here. And I'm going to move it this way because I am right-handed. And so this is my first step, is I want to get this to be right where I want it. So I'm just going to push this down, and I'm just going to die cut right through that. And that middle hole, we're gonna go ahead, and that is something that we can use in a different project, but that's going to be gone. So all that kind of white part. So goodbye. Now I have a circle. So now I'm going to grab, and this is kind of a controversial step because some people are like, don't really want to do that. I don't like it when my fun foam gets flat. I do it because it's not a big deal. And you'll notice that my card front is A2 and my fun foam is slightly, because when I push this through, my fun foam is going to stretch a little bit. So now I'm going to run this through the fun foam. And this does cut the fun foam, and it's actually not going to cut my card front because I've already cut the card front. So that's not a problem right now. I'm just slipping that right in where it was. And now I'm going to run this through. I'm going to make sure it goes through twice, just because it was my fun foam. Yesterday I had to do a little scissoring. So, wow. Deb, I would love to attend a launch. That is amazing. So, all right. So now I have my card base and my fun foam. So those have now been die cut. Oh, it's going to do it to me again. Don't do it. There we go. It sometimes needs a little persuasion. There we go. And it's pretty flat, so you can see it's right over to the edge. So I'm going to peel this off. And now I'm going to do it one more time, but this time with my card front. So that's 3 times, but I'm using my card front in order to line up where that die is going to end up. And make sure you open your card front. I know we all do it because I know we've all die cut through the entire card. We've all done it. I know we have. All right, here it comes. All right, here we go. And we're talking space because today we are celebrating the end of Mars in retrograde. So after, gosh, it's been since the end of October, Mars has been in retrograde. And if you're interested in learning more about that, go check out the NASA website. They have an article on Mars in retrograde. All right, so now we're going to build our spinner. So I'm going to take all this stuff, put it back in here, and I'm going to grab some string. Now my guy is dry. So let's put this all together. Don't need this die anymore. And we're going to do some quick assembly. I'm grabbing, so the thread, and if you don't have this, get this on your list. I probably use it more. This is actually my second package, believe it or not. I'm going to use the antique gold thread because it's like enchanted gold is kind of like in your face. I could use the silver thread, but I like the gold, here. So I'm going to use the gold. You can't really see it that much, but I'm trying to match the gold on the glitter cardstock. So I'm just going to put these together. I'm just going to grab some string, and I use a little bit of tape. So I just grab a little bit of tape. And this is the satin masking tape. 1,001 uses for your craft room. So no idea what that means, Sherry. It means that we had a little science lesson at the beginning of the live. It means that every 2 years, when you see Mars, like from your perspective on Earth, when we look at Mars, it goes from, you see it move across the night sky from west to east. But for a couple of months, every 2 years, it starts to look like it travels backwards from east to west. That's Mars in retrograde. And that has to do with the fact that the Earth completes its orbit a little bit faster than Mars does. So we kind of like catch up, if you will. All right, so here's my spinny card. So you saw how easy that was to put together. So there's my thread. All right, so I'm just going to cut this off. And I want a good lead because I need to put this on in my card. So this goes away. Goodbye thread. All right, so now we're going to start to assemble. So here is my card front, and here is my fun foam. So it's just going to give it a little bit of padding and allow it to stand up just slightly from the front of the card. I like to put my earth. Didn't see that. Everybody turn away. Look away right now. The thread did not fall out of there. Do not look at the camera right now. There we go. It's back. Yay. Hopefully it stays this time. All right, we're going to give it, this is why Altenew created this. Super fabulous. This is the 1/4 inch adhesive tape. So when your thread is not where you want your thread to be, you're going to give it a little persuasion by sticking some tape on it. And now your thread is where you want it to be. And I'm putting it on an angle because this is going to end up on an angle in here. So my thread, I want my thread to go on an angle versus going straight up and down. So that's why you see it on an angle here. All right, so now I have my card. I'm going to stuff this in here. I'm going to flip it over, grab those pieces of thread, and I'm going to use my tape in order to get those tapes down. Thread does not win. Yeah, cool. It looks that way, Tracy. It sure does look it. Might not be happening, but it sure does look it. All right, so I'm going to get that thread down. And so it stays and behaves, thread. You're behaving. And I want to pull it pretty tight, or taut is really the word, right? I want to pull that pretty taut so it spins. The more taut I have it, the more it's going to be able to spin in its little spot. All right, so let me pull this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get that fun foam on. So I'm just going to go ahead and use glue just for, I like to use dry adhesive, but for the sake of time, I'm going to use wet adhesive just to make sure that this sucker gets on so you guys can see it all in its glory. Okay, this thread can just hang out there. And I'm just going to stick this guy on. Double check that you have it on the right side. And if you end up like with a section that hangs over, you can just use a piece of, you can just use scissors to cut off the extra side. That's what I do, is I just use my big, huge scissors. Because for some reason, this always seems to grow on me, no matter what I do. So I just grab my extra long scissors. And I just go ahead and I just cut it. Cut, cut, cut. There we go. Cut, cut, cut. So now we're spinning, right? Woo. So now I got to stick it on here. So I'm going to use the fun foam, not the card base, and I'm going to stick it on the fun foam. So I'm going to put some wet adhesive here as well. And you can use a little bit of dry just to make sure it kind of stays in place. So just a little bit of wet adhesive. And then I'm going to stick it onto my card front, or on my card base, making sure that my earth goes where my earth needs to get to. And again, if you have anything that's off, you're just going to use your trimmer or a big, huge pair of scissors in order to cut that. And that, believe it or not, is why we have a spinny card. So now this is going to spin. And we have that glue. So if it's not perfectly centered on there, we can move our card front because we have that wet glue. Okay, and there it goes. Oops, stuck on this side. And all I'm doing is just kind of playing with it and get it to be right exactly where I want it. So that will spin freely on that card. And you can see I have a little overhang. So all I can do is I can just use my trimmer and cut that off. And my thread is a little misbehaving, but that's okay. But that is our spinny world. And then for our moon card, all I do, making sure that this is dry, I'm going to take my moon, use a little bit of Mama foam adhesive, just cut this off. Still have a lot of this. And I am just going to go ahead and stick this on here. And then put this onto my card. This is a little wet, so I'm just going to dry it off. Cute, right? I'm not going to add the Milky Way. So I think the Milky Way stencil would be really cute here. But I'm not going to add the Milky Way. I want to point out one difference I'm going to show you in just a second. And you can decide whether you want to keep it one way or another. On these cards, I did the iridescent last. And so you can see here that the leaves show up. So I put the ink down first, and here I did the iridescent first. And that's why it's more white. And this one is more colored. So you can make a choice about whether you want to color it first, watercolor it first, and then put down the stencil. That's what I did here. And here, the same thing. I did the iridescent first. So that's why these whites are showing up. I actually like this better than my original card, which I had done after I put down that. So I kind of like this because then it looks like little stars and little constellations. I think this looks better on a black background because you have that cool looking little rainbow. So if you put this on black, you can see how nicely that shows up. And I did have a black card base. Here we go. That's what it looks like on the black. All right, so we are just at the end of time. So let me go over what we did today because I cannot believe I did an interactive spinny card with you guys in just an hour. So, I'm glad Angel's here. I totally missed a troll. That's so awesome. Thank you, Angel. So I just wanted to thank you guys for being here today, and thank you for just taking this time to celebrate a little bit of planetary science and our crafty community. And so we used the Big World stamp and die set in order to make this spinny card. And you can see, again, the two versions. I'll grab this one because it's working a little bit better. And so you can see that spin right there. And what I meant about, where is it? This is the background with me doing the watercolor and then the iridescent. This is the background where if you did the iridescent first and then the watercolor. So you can make a choice which one you like for that one. And again, love this. I think this would make a great graduation card. I have a lot of kids, seniors who are graduating this year. So I think I'm going to make quite a few of these because this actually went relatively quickly. And I think that might be something nice for them. And then this is our card that used the geometric menagerie and that same kind of watercolor splash background and the mini moon stamp and die set. And I just think that this is just really, really super fun. And I would put this on a black background. This was an addition of using that Milky Way stencil. And just if you want to look a little bit of a different look, but I really like this one with the tiny bubble stencil and using that translucent embossing powder. So cool, that translucent embossing powder. So I want to just thank you guys so much for being here and spending some time with Angel and I. And I hope that you have a lovely day today. And let me know in the comments if you like the new time. If you're like, no, I think I'd rather go back to 3:30, let me know, because either one works for me. And I'm so glad you guys had some fun. So Mufasa, I agree, Tracy, it does look like Mufasa. So, oh, good, Deb. I'm so glad. I hope that gave you some inspiration to try out your watercolors. And this is like the technique I love using the watercolor brush markers for. This is really, in my opinion, what they're, I know you can use them to color images, but I really love them to do this type of thing where you're doing a little bit of spotlight watercoloring. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. And huge thank you to Angel, who was behind the badge today. And happy crafting, everybody. You have a wonderful day. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it.